Hello and welcome back to These Blind Eyes 6580. First, if you like my channel, subscribe to it, share it, and all that kind of good stuff. Don't really care if you click the like or don't like. Not my business, that's yours. Also, don't forget to check out my podcast, Little MB, and if you are of a religious mind, Seeking God with Blind Eyes. Alright, so happy Saint Patrick's Day. I gotta tell you, it's probably one of my least favorite holidays. I do workout videos and now I'm smoking, so whatever. They did a study and it said that you're better off to smoke and work out than you are to not smoke and not work out. So, if you're one of those people who just sit around and do nothing and think you're doing good because you don't smoke, now you know different. As far as the lighting on my videos and stuff like that, keep in mind, I can't see. So, when people are telling me, hey, it's a little dark, can still see what you're doing, but it's a little dark, I'm taking that into consideration. I'm trying to adjust lighting, just not the easiest when you can't see. But anyways, back to St. Patty's Day. Like I said, it's one of my least favorite because, I don't know, it's just a ridiculous holiday to me. For one thing, everybody and their brother claims to be of Irish descent or have Irish blood in them. And I mean, if half of the people were telling the truth about the Irish blood, we would be an Irish colony. I understand we had a lot of Irish immigrants. I get it. But the other thing is, apparently it's not even that big of a deal in Ireland. My cousin, when he was in the Marines, and this was a long time ago, but when he was in the Marines, he said that him and some buddies were going to Ireland for St. Patty's Day, and so they did. And they were pretty let down. They're like, man, nobody there really celebrates it. It's not like in the U.S. So, I mean, it's nothing more than an excuse to get crocked. When do you need an excuse to get crocked? If you feel like getting drunk, get drunk. I mean, it's asinine. And then, I don't know, it's just an excuse for dudes to wear a skirt. Because kilts actually had a function. For one, Ireland, Scotland, stuff like that, mountainous, hilly, it was, a kilt was not as constrictive when it came to climbing the hills and stuff. Also, it doubled as a blanket at night. So it was, when you're wearing your kilt, you're actually just wearing a skirt. Also, there are certain meanings behind the patterns and the colors, the color schemes on kilts. It has to do with what band you're from, what family, what tribe. A lot of people are wearing Scottish kilts for an Irish holiday. I don't get it. It doesn't make, just want to wear a skirt. That's all it is. And yeah, I'm blind. I'm wearing a cowboy hat, sunglasses, and a Wonder Woman t-shirt telling you you're a pussy because you're just wanting an excuse to wear a skirt. That's all it is. But, you know what? You'll have that. I just don't see why we need these holidays. It's like Cinco de Mayo, Everybody wants to celebrate it. I don't know what it is actually for. Is it a New Year like for Mexico? What is it? I don't know. The majority of people don't know. It's just another excuse to get drunk and drink tequila. So, I always make it a point not to drink on amateur nights, like St. Patty's Day, because that's when the trouble comes about. That's when you find yourself in trouble. It's because people that normally don't drink use it as an excuse to get drunk, and they don't know how to handle their booze. It's no different than New Year's Eve. Thanksgiving night the night before Thanksgiving's another big one. That's supposedly supposed to be in America the biggest travel for everybody to go home for family, even bigger than Christmas, is Thanksgiving. And so everybody goes out on the town, see old friends and stuff like that. A lot of people drinking that ought not be drinking. And I've had my issues. I did a couple episodes on my Little MB podcast. In case you want to check it out, didn't see that one coming 6, and there's parts 1 and 2 to it. I don't know if it's sad or funny, but it's over 3 hours of material dealing with all my run-ins with the law. Now, most of my run-ins with the law were not big deals. They were just kind of funny things. But, others were a little more serious. You'll have that. But people, if you're going to use it as an excuse, start practicing 2 weeks before. Start getting drunk every night 2 weeks before. That way you at least have a little bit of a handle on your behavior when you go out. Because it's a nightmare dealing with these people. It's a nightmare dealing with idiots. It is in general. But you add alcohol to the equation. That's why I quit going out, like for holidays. It's just looking for trouble. Or asking for it. I mean, I've never went out looking for trouble, but it's definitely asking for trouble going out with a bunch of people that don't know how to handle their booze. And it's hilarious because if you go to the bar any other day of the year, and you'll run into a bunch of old timers and other people that frequent the bar on a regular basis. And it's hilarious because they do not go out on holidays like Saint Patrick's Day. It just isn't worth it. And I mean, corned beef and cabbage. I like Reuben's, but I mean, I guess that's technically sauerkraut. I've never had corned beef and cabbage specifically, but I can tell you when I had my job at the Rock Island Arsenal, for St. Patty's Day, people brought it in crock pots. It smelled like a freaking dumpster to me, that shit cooking. Oh my gosh, it was brutal to me. So I don't understand all this freaking Irish shit because most people are not Irish. There's a meme that I just came across on Facebook that kind of sums it up. Just because you were conceived in the back of a Jeep does not make you part Cherokee. It's the same thing with all this other crap, People always want to claim, well, I'm this, well, I'm that, I mean, some of it may be true. My great-grandmother on my mom's side was a full-blooded Cherokee, but, you don't see me going on about powwows and all this other kind of bullshit, because I've had nothing to do with the reservation. So I just don't understand people's infatuation and fascination with claiming all these cultures and stuff as their own. And I don't care. If you think something's cool, then by all means it's cool. It's just got to be cool to you. I mean, it in other words, like cultural appropriation. They say that you shouldn't appropriate other culture stuff. I think that's a load of shit. I think that's one of the things that makes our country great, is that we have so many cultures that came together here, and every culture has something to offer. Every culture has something that's cool about it. So just quit acting like an idiot. I just don't get it. Quit being a pussy and wearing a kilt because you don't even know what they're for. You don't even know what the pattern on it stands for, what tribe. And like I said, the overwhelming majority of kilts you see on St. Patty's Day are not Irish kilts, they're Scottish. And this is the other thing. The other 364 days out of the year, people want to bash Catholics because of the whole priest thing, which, hey, I get. I'm not standing up for priests. I'm not bashing the Catholic people that go sit in the pews. What I am bashing is the fact that you want to knock on Catholics the rest of the year, and then you're celebrating a Catholic saint. because there's no other Christian denomination that actually has saints. They were invented by the Catholics. Because the other cultures around Rome, when Rome was kicking the crap out of everybody, the other cultures had multiple gods, a god of the sea, a god of the sun, a god of this, a god of that. And they did not believe that there could only be one God. So to get them to come into the Christian fold, the Romans started creating saints. You know, like Saint Francis, that's for the animals, and this, that, and the other thing. That's where the saints come from. It's a Catholic thing. And do you understand the irony of celebrating a Christian saint by getting hammered? Which I understand in the Bible, there's nothing against actually drinking or getting drunk. I mean, Christ's first miracle that was recorded in the Bible was turning water into wine to keep the party going. You know, drunkenness is a sin if you're doing it day in and day out, but I just think it's hilarious. Let's celebrate this saint that we know nothing about by getting hammered and doing all kinds of debauchery. I just don't get it. Either way, like I said, any questions or comments, concerns, hit me up. Email's littlemb6580@gmail.com. That's also my email for the podcast, Little MB. Seeking God with Blind Eyes is my religious podcast. So, questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up. I'm not going to sit and debate people in the comment section. If you can't send me an email, buzz off. Have a good day.